Thank you everyone for coming. I really like the order of this because I think like right after the stablecoin, AI agent, agentic payment is like one of the hot topic of stablecoin payments. So yeah, before we dive into the like main topics, I would like quickly want to ask you guys like your hand-on like experiences on agent or like agentic payments from you guys. Cameron, do you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Cameron Dennis. I've been building on Near for the last 5 years, been at the foundation, and currently a lot of the AI efforts. I've been very focused on privacy because I do believe that payments do require privacy. And if we are trying to build an agentic economy, privacy is at the foundation of it. If everything is on a public immutable ledger, it's going to be kind of difficult to get businesses to get onboarded. And so to answer your question, we actually launched an agent framework over 2 years ago. I've been following everything that's happening in AI for the last about 3 years. And candidly, we lack a lot of merchants and useful agents to make these things very useful today. I do see a huge potential of agents becoming a new economic actor as long as we solve fragmentation between different blockchains and privacy. But when it comes to agents that I'm using today, a lot of it's like coding agents. And agents, like there's little gimmicks of like people using agents to like buy a t-shirt or do something like that, but it's nothing, I think, at the level of economic activity that's kind of impressive. But yeah, my 2 cents.
Okay, hello guys. To answer my question, before I answer my question, so because I'm the only like Korean panelist, I'll try to share more on my experience on APAC and Korea related. So yeah, I know there's a lot of Koreans here, but if you guys use like Naver or Kakao, you guys can see the differences that AI-related products has showed up. So because when I was in States, I was able to use Amazon, and there's like a buy for me function. And recently, I heard that Amazon has integrated 100+ functions related to AI. So in US, you guys can like purchase or buy or like compare with those products. And that was really interesting. But in Korea, especially Naver, they also launched a beta service related to AI agents for shopping. But yeah, those payments is not yet ready. And the UI UX is not pretty smooth for now. So yeah, it was pretty impressive on using a lot of AI agent-related shopping platform, and I see the value on the agentic commerce. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. So today I'm really excited to share about like where the money moves and also about those agentic payments.
Hello everyone, I'm Laughing, and I'm the APAC leader of Kite AI. And yeah, it's a great honor to have you all here today in Seoul on such a beautiful day. And I can give a brief introduction about Kite AI. Kite AI is the first payment blockchain. And essentially, we make it possible for agents to transact safely and autonomously. And our team comes from Uber, Salesforce, Databricks, and PayPal and McKinsey. And we are backed by the PayPal Ventures, General Catalyst, Hash, Coinbase Venture, and Samsung. So we raised about $35 million from these top founders and investors. I'm very happy to share some insights on this panel with other speakers. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Before we like define more on like how blockchain can be involved in this agent economy, I just like want to hear from you guys. Like, how do you guys define agent economy in the broader terms, like outside like blockchain? Who would like to start with this one?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So what is an agent? An agent is an LLM with a tool call. It's pretty straightforward, calling some external tool and having this model be the thing that's doing that. And then the economy is this agent that is, connecting to another agent that connects to a tool call. And so right now, like MCP is kind of like one of the sort of standardized ways that these APIs are being called. And I would just say the agentic economy is one where these agents are sort of acting on your behalf. And the difference between an agent and just a normal chat is action. And so this agent is now able to do something for you instead of just like summarize something. And so the economy is the sort of interaction between agents doing things on behalf of users.
Great answer. Evin, I think you can make a brief introduction of yourself first.
GM, thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Evin McMullen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Billions Network, where we are here on a mission to save the internet in the age of AI. Pertaining to the agentic economy, exactly as Cameron said, we are moving beyond the summary and aggregation of data and toward the initiation and execution of complex logic. This means the transaction is now limited not by the speed of human cognition, but rather by the speed of compute and the rules engine that's able to execute alongside it. So here we run into limits around hardware and computational power instead of human motivation and action. This also means that in the universe of the agentic economy, the parameters that are set forth around the movement of capital are the container of that exchange versus the settlement layer of the carceral state and the legal system.
Got it. Laughing, I think since virtuals are really working, Kite is really working heavily on the agent side, I think you would like to add some word here.
Maybe we can look back at the history of the internet. In the early 2000s, we had the web first era. It was designed for humans who sitting at desktops. And in the 2010s, we had the mobile first era. It was designed for humans holding smartphones. But I think for now, from last year to the future, we are entering a much bigger era. It's the agent first era. The main traffic and users on the internet are no longer humans. They are AI agents, and the agents can call APIs, run GPUs, and maybe can call the Uber for you. And I can give you a hardcore and a real example. About 2 months ago, the cloud, Anthropic, they led their cloud ops team to build a C compiler from scratch using Rust, and they spent less than $10,000 on the API cost and finished it in less 1 day. So that means AI is becoming a super workforce. So I think it's one of the biggest difference between the agentic economy and the traditional economy. And the agent is becoming the economic entity in the agent-first economy. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think like panelists share the idea of like when agentic commerce is like agentic economy brings agent-to-agent like interactions, agent calling the tools to do the jobs rather than just like summarizing paragraphs. So yeah, let's just dive into the main topic now. What do you think like blockchain has a role in this agentic economy? Who would like to start on this one?
Oh, Cameron, do you want to take this off?
Sure. So an agent has a hard time going to get a bank account. So if you try to go connect your bank account to an agent, you're going to have to give a lot of trust away. All your username and your password, all your historical financial records, and you open like Wells Fargo doesn't have an API that you can just call. So what's cool about crypto is now you can give that agent a wallet, and now it can custody money and transact on your behalf. And I think that's like one really big thing, because I don't want my agent to have to pay another agent and have to go through Visa and the other payment provider and another payment provider and another payment provider just to have an interaction with another agent. It should be peer-to-peer or agent-to-agent. And that's why crypto is so important here. But again, my issue is security and privacy. Because if we're actually trying to enable an entire economy, these payments do need to be private. Like any legitimate business is not going to want all of their transaction history on a public immutable ledger. So we have to sort of wrestle with these two things. Do we want lower fees and less friction, or do we want to give up privacy? There is a middle ground, but it requires some nuanced solutions that I'm happy to talk more about later.
Speaking of nuanced solutions, I think that is a perfect place to pick up. So exactly as Cameron was noting, the credibly neutral infrastructure and settlement layer of blockchains allows for a smoother union between the fragmented experiences of payments and commerce that we know and hate today. In the agentic universe of having our intermediary digital butler performing these tasks for us, we also need to think about the context of those payments. As he noted, current payment leaders such as Visa and MasterCard take what some might call a usurious fee on top of these payments. The premise of micropayments, fractions of a cent or very small amounts of capital that we're already seeing popularized with payment protocols like X402 with agents today are not well suited to such significant fee structures. And so both financially and operationally, blockchains provide a meaningful improvement for our non-human actors to transact. Furthermore, I think that the stochastic and non-deterministic nature of agents pairs well with the verifiable scarcity and auditability of our on-chain technology. Today, human actors in financial services and financial institutions have role-based access control, auditable logs of their past actions, and full transparency into the permissions that their role and their identity provide. Without a similar ledger and structure of accountability for agents, it will be literally impossible to have legal compliance that's comparable. We know from, for example, I recently spoke with SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce on this subject, and she noted that agents are tantamount to subcontractors in the context of operations within a business. And so therefore, that visibility, auditability, and historical log of action must be attributed to the identity of that actor, be they human or non-human. So I think that's why blockchain technology is uniquely well suited, not only to the functional operations, but also to the business compliance needs of our payments activities.
Okay, I think I can go next. I definitely agree with you guys' opinions. So if you think about blockchain, the scalability is insane, and we can use it globally, and it's all decentralized. And if it combines with those AI technology, it'll make more scalable and usable, and we can bring a lot of users. But as Cameron mentioned, security and privacy is really important. And when I talk with those institutions in Korea, securities, banking, they all consider on adopting stable coins or AI agents. But yeah, most of the things, the data, it's unsecure and they cannot trust about it. So I heard that they're trying to build their own compliance and own standard or any other to prevent those security problems. So if we are able to solve those and the government can also support blockchain and crypto/AI would help in Korea scale up in different ways.
Yeah, I'm actually hearing this trust a lot of times in this conversation. I think two obvious things I can drive from here is that we need agents in this blockchain because they have to get access for the payments, which is super hard in traditional finance, but more easy on the blockchain finance. And also, blockchain can provide them the trust part between the agents. So yeah, because you guys are running each projects, how you guys manage this trust issue between the agents? I want to hear from each of you guys from this one.
Jeff, that's a great question. How do we facilitate payments at scale if we don't know who we are paying? And so a little over about a year and a half ago, now our team began to popularize the meme KYA, or Know Your Agent. In our financial ABCs, this follows know your customer, know your business, these types of identity tools that allow us to define and build trust around interactions with known counterparties. This, of course, is essential for agents that are fundamentally a function of their human controllers and the organizations that they represent. And so that's why we've built out a trust, identity, and reputation framework to allow agents to, as Cameron was noting earlier, privately be able to prove their qualifications and traits and those of their controllers without doxing the organizations, individuals, and payloads that they contain.
Yeah, so we've been building in this space for about 2 years now, and it first started with a private inference layer. For those who don't know, inference is the thing, what happens when you call the AI model and it understands your prompts and it actions on your, like it summarizes and answers it. So we want to make sure that all that inference is verifiably private. And that's all done through a really cool technology called the Trusted Execution Environment. This is hardware-based privacy, where you actually get the stamp, like it's called an attestation, that you as the user can use and check against to make sure, and it proves that your thing has been private. You know which model you're running, which is very important, and you can check it yourself, which sort of bridges that gap. So that's step one, is privacy. Step two is security, and so we built this framework called Ironclaw. We rewrote OpenClaw pretty much in Rust, added a bunch of extra security mechanisms like prompt injection prevention, tool calls so your agent actually doesn't leak any data when it's actually calling another tool. And so you can actually start giving your agent sensitive credentials. And so we're working with a lot of companies that want to use OpenClaw, want to use these agents, but when they bring it to their security team, they're like, absolutely not. Like, you cannot touch this. You're going to leak all the sensitive data. And so privacy, security, and then the last thing is user-owned. So this is where blockchain actually comes in. Everyone understands, should at least a crypto wallet. You have these 12 words. You're able to prove that this account belongs to you. And we think that crypto wallet should be the authentication to your agent. So your agent belongs to you, and everything is private and secure. So you add these three things together, and you sort of get what we call user-owned AI. And this is what we think is the prerequisite, so a couple AI labs don't control the future of intelligence.
Yeah, I can go next. I think it's time to explain about Sentient a little bit. So Sentient, we're building an open source AGI, and since we're open source, we also take care about privacy and security about it. So to build trust, so we have a fingerprinting technology. So because we're an open source into the intelligence network called Grid. So we have like 110 plus partners, and then each artifacts can build agents, computing data. They can contribute to the open source network. So to identify what they are building and to make it secure, we have put on like those fingerprinting, so they can like put in their identity into those artifacts. So that's one. And also we recently has developed a product called EvoSkill. That's also open source, that's on GitHub. So yeah, that is the self-improvement tooling kit for open source AI agent that are building. So because all the codings, there's like MEV chances or any security issues you guys can prevent with those open source products. So those who are building AI agents or any like open source related builders, you guys can use it on like GitHub and open sourced.
Okay, I think for Kite, for now, if you ask your agent, help me do the research, like Twitter research, maybe you probably 100% comfortable doing it. But you, if talk to your agent, say, hey, agent, this is my credit card, and I want you help me do all the shopping stuff, and I'm betting you the agent will spend your money at merchant speed, because your credit card is just a private key. If you give it to your agent, you will lose control, and you don't know what your agent will buy and when it will spend and who it will pay. So for Kite, we build a 3-tier ID system. We give every user an ID and give every agent an ID, and you can use this ID to generate a one-time session. Essentially, the one-time session is the delegation-based, and it says like $100 upper limit and good for 24 hours and only for the birthday cake purchase. And the Kite passport can guarantee your spending will not exceed the limit, and your spending will match to your original intent. Yeah, that's what we are doing.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, considering like today's focus are mostly like institutional focused, I think like this kind of trust issue, security issue is definitely one of the topics that we have to cover in the like stochastic AI field. So yeah, let's go to more tangible stuff. I want to like ask you guys, each one of you, what do you think is like the most like near-term use case of agent payments or agent economy? Who want to start first?
I could go. We're building this today, so we work with enterprises and small, medium-sized businesses that have problems. And these problems are around like sending remittances. So we work with a company called Abound. Abound is the technology arm of a company called New Times of India. It's the largest English-speaking newspaper in the world. And they have all these users that move money from the United States to India. And when they're sending these remittances, let's say they have the loan to pay in India in rupee, but they make dollar. And so we're essentially having agents manage these credentials in their, not crypto wallet, but just like bank account to move money from like essentially a limit order on a remittance, saying, hey, like I want to pay back my loan in India with my US dollar if the price of dollar goes above X. And so the agent is actually going to be able to manage those credentials, action on behalf of the user, and move that money so that person doesn't have to wake up and trade US dollar, like US time zone. And so that's just like very, very specific. And that's where a lot of people kind of get lost in this agent land, because agents can do so many things, but you actually have to get super, super clear around like exactly what it has to do and benchmark it. What people lack in the space is just this like level of detail of benchmarks. So anytime that we ever build any type of agent, we start with a benchmark. If the thing is not better than the human and can't beat the benchmark, it's a useless agent. We need more useful agents, and moving money around from country to country is a pretty clear one.
Starting from the NIDS, yeah, like it. Anyone else?
I think we've already started to see, in addition to examples such as remittances, the proliferation of agent-to-agent payments for things like API marketplaces. Earlier, we were discussing repositories like OpenClaw and the concept of skills, being able to add new capabilities to agents. And so this novel, closer to micropayment-based transaction is fairly atomic and does not really touch or interact with the more traditional financial system. At Billions Network, we've noticed that some of the liminal space between our existing payments infrastructure and this new agentic economy is missing key infrastructure. Today, we've talked a lot about things like credentials, attestations, evidence that a counterparty is permitted to interact and exchange value. Traditional payment rails, such as MasterCard and Visa, issue tokens or credentials that permit, for example, e-commerce platforms to receive payment, noting that the party providing value is indeed permitted to do so and is not a prohibited counterparty. This is a missing piece to allow agents to interact in a universal context with e-commerce platforms where we're already seeing the fragmentation of walled gardens building up around these closed systems where Google-specific or Stripe-specific payments are facilitated, but the interoperability made possible by blockchains has not yet been fully embraced due to this missing credential and identity layer for those agents.
Yeah, I can share with you. The first is agent-to-agent API calls. If we have an agent marketplace, the agent can call the other APIs, other agent APIs, and they can run GPUs and they can process data. And the second one is consumer shopping. Like I tell my agent, oh, I want to I want to have a birthday cake and deliver tomorrow, send it to my office. And the agent will help me to compare different ranges and make a decision and complete the purchase. And the last one is AI trading. I think it can include a prediction market. Like the agent can get a trading signal and it can follow the predefined instruction and execute the strategy. And it can finish it within a safe and controllable scope.
I know that we don't have much time, but I'll make it short. It seems like we all have pretty similar answers from this question. So recently I saw A16Z podcast, and they were interviewing the Circle's co-founder, and he was mentioning that in decades the AI agent bank will show up, and he's also preparing for those stuff. And then he also mentioned about securities, privacy, and also about KYA, so know your agent. So of course, those agents onboarding would be super important to bring those AI agents into finance. And I see a lot of like Clawbots doing investment and also doing some like transfer, asset transfer, or like booking flights or hotels. So that I think that leads to all the retailers maybe will be soon using all those AI agents in the future. And also those agentic commerce, I think that's the most priority that we have to consider. Since like PayPal, they recently have launched the MCP server and also agent toolkit. So with this infrastructure, I think maybe in like 3 or like 4 years, most of the retailers will try to use a lot of like AI agents related every day. Yep.
Got it. Yeah, that's really diverse use cases that I heard today. Yeah, this is gonna be my last question, I guess. Since we also mentioned about like Amazon's like buy me anything, and also like some of the like hard companies, I want to hear like how do you envision this kind of like existing like stepping stones of this commerce and like human world to be shifted in the agent commerce world? Like for example, card companies, banks, like e-commerce platforms, how do you envision they will like transform in the agent era?
Every human's going to have their own agent. I have an agent right now that manages my Slack. When I'm asleep, people can actually ask it questions and it answers on my behalf. And then over time, it's going to learn everything that I already know. And then my agent's going to be contracted by your agent, and it's going to get paid. So I'm going to actually make money through my agents via a marketplace. And this is how I actually think humans are going to be able to survive in a post-AI world. And this agent-to-agent marketplace that's actually powered by a human on a back end is how people are going to make money. And so that needs to be private. We have this thing called confidential intents. We just hit $16 billion in volume. And this is kind of the beginning of what we consider agentic commerce.
I think from my side, of course, the operational lag, I think that we have a lot of lacking stuff on the operational side, security side, and like trust issues. So I think for the vision side, the issuers and the acquirers, they have to provide their own standard. And like, for example, once like AI agent, like they mistransfer it to another person regarding to the payments, they have to think about those strategy, how can they solve those problems. And I can see there's a lot of blockers that the AI agents will be adopted. So I think the infrastructure and operational stuff would be the most high priority that they have to prepare.
Okay, I will answer the question in short. I think the main traffic and users on the internet will not be human. They are AI agents, and they will create a much bigger market, maybe $100 billion market. Yeah.
Every website, every application needs to be rewritten in the next 5 years to accommodate for this inevitable future. And so if you're interested in building on top of it, please check out Billions Network. We currently support the largest ecosystem of verified agents anywhere online and are excited to work with these awesome colleagues to bring this vision that we've all described here today to life.